Hey guys, today I wanna take a look at the video where Path of Exile 2 revealed the Druid and the Druid gameplay, because I have referenced this video in other videos of mine where I say, oh, the combat for the Druid in PoE 2 looks very good, but I have never actually showed you guys what that is. So let's take a look at it so we have a better understanding of what I mean about the Druid combat, brother.
Basically, here we have 5 different characters that we're showing on the demo. These top 4 we were showing at ExileCon when we had it a few weeks ago. This last one here is the Druid, which is the one that we're mostly sort of showing as the new character for Gamescom.
And it is the only one that matters. I don't care about a hunter or a warrior or whatever. We care about the Druid, brother.
And effectively, I guess one of the sort of primary things we want to get across to people is the sort of different combinations between skills. This is like an...
So you have a storm, you have your better stuff, and you have your volcano. So they go back in here to sort of like the Diablo 2 Druid, that he was able to throw a fire or earth fire spells, you know, because right now the Diablo 4 Druid doesn't have anything related to fire. It has earth, but not something like a volcano.
Instruction sheet that is used for, you know, in the consumer booth, so you can sort of know what you're doing. I'm just going to
PoE 2 looks so much better than PoE 1. This one, it entices me to play it.
Right.
So in Act 4, you have a boat, and you sort of can go to whatever of the different islands you want. They have all different like little stories.
That is cool, having a boat.
Find out about. And in the demo, we've got a few of...
Brother, this looks cool. You have a boat that can go to the different island. That is fucking cool, brother.
There's more than just
I didn't remember this.
But this is what we'll do for the time being. So this is the Isle of Kin, which is an area that is a sort of like volcanic island with a whole bunch of goblins on it. And as we get here, we can show it off. So this being the Druid, it's kind of a hybrid spellcaster. So you've got both spells, and you also have a bear form. Well, in fact, more than a bear form. You have other different animal forms. So the thing people often hear for is you know, this kind of stuff.
Yes, I believe they said that you can also get the wolf form, but they haven't showed that yet. So here you have the bear. So I will say it right out of the gate, because I have said this before when someone asked me, why don't you play Druid in World of Warcraft? And I said, because I don't like when you convert yourself into the animal completely. I like more the hybrid form. So in Diablo 4 you have the werebear and the werewolf. You don't go full bear or full wolf. I don't like when you go full animal, and in World of Warcraft you do. You go full bear or full cat. And here you go full bear. So yes, that is just aesthetically, that doesn't have anything to do with gameplay reasons. That is just the fantasy that I create in my mind, that I like being the werebear and the werewolf. I don't like the full animal, but let's be honest, in here that is not a big deal, and that doesn't affect the gameplay per se. So let's just keep going. This was just a quick comment about my personal taste about the forms that the Druids can take.
This kind of stuff. So if you are in bear form, you can...
That looks awesome, brother.
Obviously run around.
That looks fucking awesome, my dude. One of the abilities that I like the most about the Druid in Diablo 4 is Trample. That it is something like that, where you just like go head on and smash people. But this looks cooler, brother.
Using spells is also sort of important, and what we want to really do is
about lightning and storms, brother. I care about the bear. Show me the bear.
Very quickly. So
there
what I can do here is
that is like
slam
a
down.
polarized but cooler.
When you use your
Look at that.
bear form, so when you use a bear skill, you immediately just when you use a bear skill, you turn into a bear and you do the skill. When you use a spell, you sort of automatically transform and use the spell. So there's no like sort of having to manually transform from one to the other.
Yes, like Diablo 4.
You just use this, use the skill. And
because in Diablo 2 you had to manually transform first before using an ability that was for the transformation. But of course, that is a 20-year-old game. In here, you just transform automatically, and in Diablo 4 it is like that too.
It does it. And there's like a sort of slight time penalty. So if you do multiple bear things in a row, that's going to be more efficient, because when you transform, there's like a little time penalty, about 500 milliseconds for the transform.
That is cool to have in mind for your rotation or for the way you use your spells, knowing that if you want to use several bear attacks in a row, do that instead of weaving in and out, because you will waste more time. That doesn't exist in Diablo 4, by the way. You can weave in and out.
So you kind of incentivize therefore to like use some spells, do what you're doing there, then turn into a bear, and then do that too.
What's happening there when he transforms? Is his material form is just becoming a bloody pulp?
Something like that. Yeah, you can also when you dodge roll, you can instantly transform back into your character. You can even do it mid-transform if you want. So at any time you can just kind of abort what you're doing and do it. And it's really important because in PoE.
So apparently every time you transform, you go into the pulverize, or it's because he uses the ability and he transforms to use it.
We really wanted to PoE 2, that is. We really wanted to make sure that anytime you're feeling threatened, you can always just dodge roll to get out of there, and you're never interrupted from doing that.
And just what's the cooldown timer on your dodges?
No cooldown. You can just do it as long as you want. So just hold the button down. Yeah. Hold the button down and roll away.
In D4 there is a cooldown for the dodge. I like this better. I like moving and having my mobility be available to me at any time, because if you use the dodge at the bad moment, then you get hit, but now you can dodge again. Of course there is animation, but you can dodge in a row.
To your heart's content. It's actually, originally when we made the bear, we made it so that you could dodge roll as a bear, and the animation was so fun that we decided to keep it, but just in town. So in town, you can do your.
Brother, but why only in town? Give it to me everywhere. It looks way too cool to only be in town. Look at that.
Yeah, it was so funny, but we're like, we don't have anything. We don't have anything to do with this.
You guys have to go through it just because of that. Not having that is stupid.
Right,
you have to have that.
Right. Let's do an abridged version of what I do.
Imagine going other class and not
effectively,
doing the
what we want to make
barrel.
sure, as I said, is that all the skills can be used together. So this slam here causes you to stun enemies, and I've got another skill here that does a roar, and if there's any stun enemies nearby, it gives you what's called an exerted attack down here.
If you have a bear, you have to have the roar. It is like a law of the universe. Brother, if you are going to play as a bear, give them a roar, brother.
And exerted attacks mean that when you do another slam, it gets doubled. So you see here, I got 2 slams out of that. So just to show you that again, it's slam, and then I do the roar, and then any other skill I use, including this like rampage skill here, which does like a lot of slams. I can do like a huge amount of damage. So normally when I cast this, I just get, like.
That ability looks really cool, brother, and it includes a mobility aspect.
Slam. But if I stun people, get the exert. Oh, sorry, wrong button. If I stun people and get the exert, then when I'm doing it, it's slam. Like it's doubling the number, and that's also really handy because I have a few other skills I can synergize with. So one of them here is called the volcano. So when you make a volcano, when you slam down, it emits more projectiles every time the slam goes off near it, which is quite fun.
That is cool how they make one ability increase the other ability. That bullshit doesn't happen in Diablo 4, brother. Each ability is independent. You can have like procs and triggers, but not something like it interacts directly. And you could say that is not always good, because having interactions between abilities can lock them in, like getting a lower build diversity, because if you pick this skill, you have to pick this skill because they work together. But sometimes it is cool that is happening like in this case, and you can make them strong individually. But Diablo 4, even not having that, still doesn't have build diversity, but that is another topic completely.
And of course, if I use Rampage and then Rampage around the volcano, I'm getting a lot of slams. And then even more than that, if I do the Exert combo, get the Exerted attack, cast a volcano.
But it is a cool way of giving more functionality to the bear abilities, because if you want to play as a bear and all you do is Rampage, Pulverize, Roar, it will get boring really fast. But if you make those abilities interact with the other abilities, like in this case Volcano, you give you create more build diversity in that specific moment.
And then do a Rampage. Now I'm getting an absolute crap ton of projectiles, which annihilates bosses very easily. So this
That
kind of
look
thing.
cool as fuck.
Yeah, once again, we just really want to make sure that you get the feeling that you can.
Bro, what is that
use lots of
little
skills, because in
goalie playing
PoE1
the
it was
drums?
very common that you just right-click and that was kind of all of your interaction, you know. In PoE2 we want to make sure that there's a lot more different things going on. I also have some wolves,
The
which I
wolves?
can use, which
I didn't
is useful
remember
because
that.
the Druid, being a hybrid, is not necessarily the most tanky character ever. Even though you can turn into a bear, you're still you're not wearing a suit of armor, you know, like a warrior would be. So you do have to be a bit careful, and so that's where the stunning can be really useful to incorporate as a defensive.
I like that. I like
but
that.
also because, but also things like wolves, also things like tornado, which I don't have on this version of the character because that's in the demo version. This one's designed for the players to play, and normally you get that as a quest reward a little bit later. So I can't quite show you that, but yeah, I've got a tornado skill that will suck monsters in. It's another sort of tactical option on the battlefield.
We get the wing too with the tornado.
And
Okay,
yeah.
good to know.
So go on.
What's happening on your health bar there? It looks like you're building up a shield.
Yeah.
What
that's the
ability is
energy
triggering?
So all intelligence characters, sorry, that is to say, any armor you're wearing for intelligence characters has energy shield. So that's just a
So the druid is an intelligence character, okay? Good to know.
yeah, it's just a thing that you have. So if I don't take damage for a while, then I get Halo style energy shield building up there.
Cool.
So anyway. Right, so that's like a few of those interactions. But I guess another thing that is really nice to have in PoE, you know, this being a game a lot about.
Oh, and you also have the mold. That is a fourth ability. Earlier I say 3, but you have also like the mold where you you swipe them.
Having interesting interactions, and but also some automation is something that we want to support, just like in PoE1. So in the inventory here, I've got a gem called Castwell Channeling, and I've got my channeling skill, which is this volcano, where if I hold it down, it like bursts out with more projectiles. And ideally, what I'd like to be able to do is reduce the number of skills that I need to be using to kind of pull off the combos that I'm doing, because I want to be able to have my lightning going, I want to have my volcano going, I want to be rampaging around and all that stuff. I want to kind of be able to do that stuff together a bit more easily. So I can open the skill screen here and put Castwell Channeling in here. And when I do that, I'm going to take Lightning Storm and put that in as well.
Look at that, bro.
So hang on, let me just get rid of this annoying guy here. And now whenever I'm channeling,
Look at that, brother. The variety of skills you can have on. That is insane, brother. Not just like the 6 that you can have in Diablo 4. Oh, you can have more abilities because we don't know why.
I'm able to cast Lightning Storm automatically. So I'm going to enable that buff here. And now when I use my Volcano, I get the Lightning Storm happening automatically. And that makes a little death zone here that's really handy. And then of course once I've got that, I can be slamming down with the bear and be creating a really nice
Good zone control.
Yeah, nice, that is cool for sure.
So
that's you are an elementalist there. I usually, and this happens also in Diablo for me and in other games, because again, as I said, I was aware that I am an idiot, but it is because I play games to have fun, right? And sometimes, like, you can do the most efficient thing, and the most efficient thing involves doing crazy stuff and combining your skills and maybe going earth and a storm or whatever. But when I play, I kinda go into the mindset of that I am this character, and I usually, not always, don't like to mix the themes of the character. For example, if I go storm, I like going full storm. If I go earth, I like going full earth. If I go shapeshifter, I like going full shapeshifter. Unless I go into this mindset of, oh, I am a hybrid class, the fantasy of being an hybrid class. But that doesn't happen often. But again, I understand that this is my personal bias because I have this fucked up fantasy when I play games, and that the majority of people don't think about that, and a lot of people like being hybrids. I say all of this just because he's going hybrid in there with the volcano and the lightning storm,
We actually have another channeling skill.
By the way, I am not saying that it is a bad thing. I will probably have fun with that. I am just saying some fantasy like immersion thing that I have personally. I am not criticizing that it exists, and it also exists in Diablo 4 and every ARPG, in La Cipon, whatever. You can go hybrid.
On the bear, which is this charge. And it's actually a bit annoying that it triggers the lightning storm as well, because I'd rather have my little death zone that I'm trying to do. And so that's why it's kind of useful that in PoE, any buff that you have, you can choose which weapon sets that you want to have that enabled for. So if I turn this off as a bear, I'm going to get my spirit back and disables the buff. And now if I change to a human, the buff goes straight back on automatically. Change back to a bear and it falls back off again. So any buff you can just choose, like, do I want this to apply? Do I not want this to apply?
Nice.
And then the spirit that I'm reserving
is cool.
is being consumed or not consumed.
You have total control
that helps
of
for
what you
clarity
want to
when
do.
you're like planning out your
For
abilities
sure.
or attacks.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is, because I want to automate more things, I'm going to get cast on melee stun. I'm going to put that in here, and then I get the summon wolf ability that I have.
Automating things is always cool, brother.
And I'm going to put cast on melee stun with summon wolf. And that means that if I stun
not
enough
always,
enemies,
but almost
I'll be able
always.
to cast my wolf automatically. Which is really nice, because now I don't have to remember to cast my minions all the time. It just kind of happens automatically. And when the wolves first come out, they also do a howl, which causes them to do a crit debuff on monsters. So when I'm going to stun some guys, that wasn't quite enough charge, so I'll set 76% up the top there. There we go. So now I've got a wolf cast automatically. And now as I'm just going through, I'm just getting my wolf summoned without having to do anything. There should be another one there. And then
That
it's
is
essentially
nice
good
for
to
sure
use it
for
on
summoner
cast
classes.
while stunning, because that means I can use my exert. Sorry, I put that on the wrong keybind. I think it's Rampage. Where's the Warcry? There it is. Sorry, just wrong.
Look at all the abilities he can choose
I
for
do my
the
stunning.
keybinds. So he
I
has
get an
way
extra
more
wolf.
abilities than what he has in the keybinds.
Which I didn't get that time. No, I did. I just didn't notice. Okay, right. So do that again. Get my stun. Get a wolf. And now that I've got that, I can do my
I believe, I don't know if this is true, but I believe that in Path of Exile 1, and if it happens in the 1, it will happen in the 2nd for sure, you can hold Alt or Control or something like that, and you get a second set of keybinds. So you have the first ones where you have Q, W, E, R, whatever, and then you press Alt and you get a second set that is Alt Q, Alt E, and that it is. I believe so, I am not sure. But that way you have twice the amount of keybinds.
Exerted attack, with the roar, which I once again failed to do the timing right, because I'm in a bit of a funny setting here. Do the roar, and then I can get the rampage. And the thing is, while I'm doing that,
Nice, it looks
all the
cool,
monsters
the
nearby are
rampage.
getting
That is my
a crit
favorite
debuff on
ability
them.
for sure,
So it's kind of a
the
way to get
rampage.
more for less, if you know what I mean.
The combination Volcano
so that's like a
Rampage,
quick
I really
introduction
like
to some Druid skills here. But I can also go and let me just find the boss for this area, and we'll see if we can utilize all of those elements. I'll just get some rage, which I need to be able to do my rampage a little bit further, and then we'll rampage over to where the boss is, and we'll do a boss fight here, and so you can see what's going on. Where is the boss?
He says that
On
the
random
Druid is not
levels, does he
tanky, but
know
he's tanking very well.
where the boss will be.
He's just
Okay.
taking damage and he doesn't care.
Right, there it is. So this here is an arena that the goblins have made to sort of fight their beasts against each other. And here we have the blind
Nice.
beast, which is an albino version who they've blinded. So here I want to get the you can see, like, utilizing all these different attacks here.
You're melting.
Yeah, I can actually melt the boss, exactly. Because I'm getting that the Volcano is actually even better. Again, we'll have to run away from that, though. It's even better against large monsters, because the projectiles hit. Because the area that the boss takes up is larger, more of the projectiles of the Volcano are going to hit the boss. So that means that it's actually very advantageous. Oh no, get away from that, Okay.
I like these boss battles where you have to learn the mechanics of the boss and dodge and whatever, and it is not just a piñata that you just hit, and that's it. That is what's happened basically in Diablo 4, brother, in dungeons or whatever. I like that you have to actually learn the mechanics and dodge stuff. Like in a single player game like a Metroidvania or a Souls, like where you have to learn what the boss does, and you take that into these games, and apparently it is like that in PoE 2. We will have to wait and play to see, because maybe you can overgear yourself and kill them with 2 hits. But if you have to actually learn the mechanics of the bosses to kill them, I love that. I love cool epic boss battles, brother.
Yeah. It's very advantageous to be able to use Volcano against a boss like this.
You gotta focus up, don't worry.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So.
Use your potion.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
all I
That's
do.
what. Yeah. Sorry. All right.
Ooh,
Oh,
that hit hard.
shit.
That hit hard. He was
Okay, right, there we
he
go. I
almost
need to
died.
stun him. Okay, there we go. Got the stun, get the exert, get the rampage. That's what I need to do. He's in the wrong place
Nice.
though.
Lots of damage.
Okay, no, he's alright.
Lots
He's
of
moving
damage.
into it. He's moving into it. There we
nice.
go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so there we go. Alright. Oh wait, no, he's doing is that. So what I want to do while he's doing that
Nice.
is do my channel. And then ideally I can pull him back in.
Go,
and then
go.
I can
Nice,
probably just
nice.
slam. Yeah, I can probably just slam.
Cool,
Oh
cool,
yeah, there we
cool,
go.
cool.
Alright, there we go. So
That was fine. That
that's
was
the,
cool.
That's the Druid.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you show me a little bit more about the loot?
There's probably not like a huge amount to talk about there at the moment. I mean, it's very similar to Path of Exile 1 in that regard. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of changes under the hood.
So gold
but, I
takes
guess one thing
space
that we
on
do wanna
the
make
on
sure
the
of is that
inventory. It is not like a currency.
In PoE 1, we had a problem with like way too many white items on the ground, this kind of stuff. In PoE 2, we really want to improve the loot. There's a few different
Nice,
ways we're
I
addressing
like
that.
that.
One of them is gold, which we added. Another one though is that the effect of what's it called? Item rarity does a lot more now. So that what that means is that bosses are much likely to get drop better items rather than more items, which is a better thing for the player. It means you don't have as much spam everywhere. So
I like that
This
too.
particular boss dropped an attribute gaining quest item, so I can use that and get some more attributes. So that's a reason to do one of
Nice.
these side bosses. And then if you like, I can go to a different character class and show you.
Okay, brother, so now you see how the Druid is looking good in PoE 2. And maybe I miss it because of talking or whatever, but I believe there is a part that he says that if you use an ability at the exact time where the animation is happening, you can use it faster. And that is one of the things that I am liking about this gameplay, because they take into consideration even timing, which is insane that the combat is so fluid that you can even introduce an element of timing in there. It is really cool. I know that the presenter said a lot of or whatever, but this was a live this was a live audience. He was probably nervous. Let's cut him some slack. Who cares? He explained what he needed to explain. The Druid is looking cool. And again, as I said, I am really excited about PoE 2 because the graphics are looking good, the classes are looking good, the Druid is looking good, the combat, that is the thing that I wanted to improve the most about the PoE 1, is looking really good in PoE 2, so I am really excited about this game. There is going to be a Druid in there with shape shifting. I couldn't ask for more, brother. Well, I could ask for give me a beta and give me access to it, you know. So yes, it is looking really good. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about PoE 2, about the Druid, about this clip and everything, brother. I really love reading comments, brother. I like it a lot. So guys, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff, brother. Thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, as a great Bill Hicks said, this is just a ride.